Welcome to lesson 2 in biology, where we are going to look at the topic called cells, or simply a cell. So in this topic, we are going to look at cells, or simply a cell. Okay, then what is a cell? What is a cell? Okay, to answer this question, a cell, we already defined it when we are looking at the features or characteristics of living things. So, when we are looking at the characteristics of living things, we stated to say a cell is simply a functional unit of organisms, or simply a cell is the basic unit of life. A cell is simply a basic unit of life. Okay, so let us look at a simple structure of an animal cell and a plant cell. A simple structure of an animal cell and a plant cell. Okay, so we've got this cell here and this cell here. Okay, so which one do you think is the animal cell and which one is the plant cell? That's right. This is the animal cell and this is the plant cell. So, animal cell, plant cell. Okay. Now, straightforward, we are going to look at the similarities between an animal cell and a plant cell. Similarities between an animal cell and a plant cell. The similarities that we can see there. What similarities can we see? I think as you can observe, both plants, both cells, plant and an animal cell, they have got the nucleus there. Both they have got the nucleus. That is simply the nucleus here. Number two, as you can observe, both an animal cell and a plant cell, they have got what? A cytoplasm. They've got a cytoplasm. All right. And then we look at the third one. In this case, which we can see is the last one. They both have the cell membrane. They both have the cell membrane. Okay, so these are the similarities that we can see by observing. Let's see the differences that we can see there. Okay, I'll present the differences here. So the differences that we can see there is number one. As you can observe, there is a cell wall in a plant cell, but there is no cell wall in an animal cell. So the cell wall is one of the differences. Number two, a plant cell has got the chloroplast, while an animal cell doesn't have a chloroplast. The third one is the presence of the vacuole. The presence of the vacuole in a plant cell, while it is not there in an animal cell. All right. So let us look at these differences in detail. Let us look at these differences in details. So I'll actually put them in a table. I'll put them in a table. So we have plant cell and the animal cell. So in a plant cell has the cellulose cell wall, while an animal cell does not have cellulose cell wall. Number two, a plant cell has large permanent vacuole, while an animal cell does not have a large permanent vacuole. If it is there in animal cells, then it means they are small and they are not permanent. Okay. The third one is the presence of chloroplast in a plant cell, while in animal cell it does not have chloroplast. A plant cell has a regular shape and big sized, while an animal cell has irregular shape and smaller size. Okay, those are the differences that exist between a plant cell and an animal cell. All right, we move on to look at now the detailed structure of an animal cell. The detailed structure of an animal cell, that can also be called ultrastructure of an animal cell. Okay, so the detailed structure of an animal cell, I'll just draw it here, just below here. All right, so this is the structure. This is a detailed structure of an animal cell. All right, so we are going to label it together. We will start with the inside part, this part here, which is, of course, this is going to be called a nucleus. A nucleus. So this is the nucleus. So if you are in the exam, they bring a structure like this and then they label, maybe they name it as part A. So you know that this is a nucleus. All right. So we proceed to the next part, which is this part. This is the nucleoplasm. Nucleoplasm. This is the nucleoplasm. And then we'll move on to this part here. This part here is the nuclear membrane. It is the nuclear membrane. And then we have next to the nuclear membrane, right here, we have the nuclear pore. Nuclear pore. And then we come to this part, which is the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum. So that one is just the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. And then let's go to the rough endoplasmic reticulum. This one is a rough endoplasmic reticulum. That is a spelling there. Rough endoplasmic reticulum. What is the difference that exists between the rough endoplasmic reticulum? It has these pores that you can see here. It has got these pores here. So these pores are actually called meanwhile, if we observe, these pores are not there on the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. That's the difference that exists between these two. So what are these pores? These pores are actually the mitochondria. I mean ribosomes. These are the ribosomes. These are the ribosomes. And then we proceed to this part here, which is the Golgi body. This is the Golgi body. Golgi bodies. All right, and then the mitochondria, I almost made a mistake there. So that is the mitochondria here. This one, which looks like a sausage here. So this is a mitochondria. This one is also called the powerhouse. It is also called the powerhouse. It is also called the powerhouse. Why is it called a powerhouse? Because this is the site of respiration. You don't need to worry, because the next lesson that we'll be looking at, we'll look at the functions of all these parts that we have actually labeled here, or we have seen. Okay, now we'll get to the detailed part of a plant cell, of course. But before we get there, we have the cytoplasm there. Okay. And then we have also the cell membrane. The cell membrane. All right, so we move on to the detailed structure of a plant. Detailed structure of a plant cell. or ultrastructure of the plant cell. So a plant cell is here, a detailed one. I've decided to label them at once. Those which are also present in an animal cell. But let us look at a few differences. Look at this one. This one is a nucleus. This one is a nucleus, meaning when we combine nucleolus, we combine nucleoplasm, we combine nuclear membrane, we combine nuclear pore, it gives us that nucleus. That is what we call as the nucleus, the combination of all those parts that I've shown there. All right, so then this one is there also in an animal cell, this one here, which is the smooth endoplasmic reticulum, and then there's also this rough endoplasmic reticulum, it is also there. Then also the ribosome, it is there in an animal cell. Then we come to the cytoplasm, it is also there in an animal cell. Then we come to the Golgi body or Golgi apparatus, Golgi body or Golgi apparatus, both an animal and the plant cell has got that. Then we come to the mitochondrion, it has, and also the cell membrane. But if you remember, we looked at the differences that exist between a plant cell and an animal cell. What is the difference? The difference, number one, is the cell wall. Number two, the presence of the vacuole. Number three, it is the tonoplast. The tonoplast. And then number three, we have the chloroplast. The chloroplast. Here, the chloroplast. Okay, so those are the differences that exist. The next topic that we are going to have is going to be looking at functions of cell parts. Functions of the cell parts, meaning these parts that we have looked at today, we are going to have now a detailed lesson on what each part does and how it is important to the cell. Thank you very much for watching. This is Lux Academy and your teacher, Mr. Hampande. Have a good day. Shalom, shalom.